always happening. My production crew is like, do the thing. No, dude, charge the thing.
Since I need, I always know where there is the only
What happens if I put that up to the camera?
eagle rising high in the sky.
Does it do anything? Or do I turn the light?
Fire and fight. Talent's always at the ready. All the truth I need. I am a constellation coming round. On the ride of hunter. I am a twin flame. Oh, brother and sister, call me Apollo. And all in this, they have come to carry on those that pray. On those we never sleep. And I saw you in a dream. I saw you in a dream. I saw you in a dream. Yeah. On eagle rising high in the sky. Above the fire and the fight. Talent's always talented, the ready. Truth I need. All the truth I need. All the truth I need. You're always on my mind. Always on my mind. Always on my mind. Welcome to the show. Mom Made Me. This is a continuation of a series I had called CK Lords Live Out, and an extension of the band, the music of Battle Tree. So it appears on their website, mommademe.com. I'll take you to battletreemusic.com, and at battletreemusic.com you can find this spot, and hopefully you found it without too much trouble getting here. An incredible journey, difficult beyond my imagination to ever conceive that I could possibly make such a journey. However, you know, one point in my life, because of situations you may be fully aware of or just totally unaware of. In my life, since birth, I was born to a place, apparently, where I was denied anything and everything that could possibly provide me hope or financial sustenance or like affection or normal response from people, let's say, due to a system in place worldwide. You may be aware of it, maybe not. You may be a part of it, intentionally or unintentionally, regardless. It's been incredibly difficult just to get to this point. And no matter what I produce in my life, of course, my music, my videos, my film, this has to go through the pinhead hole of the thing that's causing all this for the whole world in general, and me specifically, even more intensely, 365 since the day of my birth to this point. Absolutely everything from me out into the world has to be monitored, metered, grabbed, censored, and yeah, nothing can get out there because I can't receive one single feedback or approval or success thing or whatever, because of what I only recently, like let's just say within the last 10 years, things became clear as to why my life has been like this. And finally today, reaching the culmination. I'm still not 100%, clued into the whole thing. But yeah, hold on.
Hi.
Hey, Maya, what?
Hi, I texted you.
I know. I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you later?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
Bye.
Okay, bye. You can do video calls with Alexa. Anyways, the reason I'm telling you all this is that I have a specific target audience for this, the first episode, which I'm really hoping it reaches that and only that audience. I'm going to leave it up for a little while. I'm going to assume that after a specific amount of time, that audience was able to receive this message. This message is applicable and valuable to the entire world. But of course, due to the fact that my target audience, my number one audience actually for this, exists, it's not feasible or possible or going to get to the world. So, after a while it's been online, I will probably take it offline, and then in further episodes of this show, I will make more general population videos, which will also still have to go through that target audience. And the situation may or may not have changed. But for my part, I have to just, have to be what I am. I have to do what I do. And I have to have some kind of thing in life that I know I'm not supposed to have hope. I'm not supposed to have any love or affection or this or that. However, despite all this in place by the powers that be, these guys, the Lost Boys, the dead, many of whom were my personal heroes and people I love in entertainment industries, and just they are my only and best friends in life, the only people who are with me by my side all the time. As I say in my song to them, they never let me cry alone since I've had the pleasure, the privilege, and the honor to be their Peter Pan. And so that's been my path. They're with me all the time, so the rest of the world doesn't need to be. I'm perfectly comfortable and happy now being alone, in the wilderness, in the forest, in a city where everyone and everything else just, programmed to be as it is towards me will completely ignore me and leave me alone to do whatever. And these guys, who are constantly there, have been the most incredible, perfect companions for me on this journey, because I realize now that it couldn't be made. I couldn't do it with what you guys have, regular, like, living human beings and people in your lives. And I'm sure that's probably just incredible in its own right, because the one thing you desperately lack and miss in this kind of thing that we, thankfully, we know going forward at the conclusion of this incredible journey, we get to share that with each other and move forward into magnificence, and now multiple magnificence, that I was able to save these guys from the opposite of that, them go to this endless horrific place, and now these people are in my ears. We can, as one, of course, in all creation, however, separate entities, physical, they can embrace each other and be in each other's companies. So I realized that, the cost I'm paying in losing all that this lifetime, I gain magnitudes exponentially. So I guess even, to the people who have done this to me my whole life, I have to express my gratitude. And because without you, that would not have been possible. Probably would have had no chance if I ever get to have people like Marlon Brando and Tom Petty or whatever is my, people who love me and care about me or anything like that. So I'm gonna just put it out there what I know to be, because we do have a true creator. You, in particular, are fully aware of this because you are the originator and knower of the lie called God, and basically all religions on the planet, because everything's conditioned to be the opposite and deny the one truth. And you may or may not actually be aware of the true truth, and on some level, some of you may not even be aware of the lie that you're operating in. It's all that's irrelevant. This applies equally to the lowest and highest levels of that triangle you're all sitting in, including the tippity-toppitiest guy, who's probably going to be the first person to get this information. However, really, the whole triangle, no matter where you're at, and depending your ability to access this information, I'm assuming it's limited at first, and then it may or may not be disseminated depending on how it benefits you and yours, the people you love and care about. And let me open by saying that I know kind of a relationship such as ours, you imagine, you think, as you consider me to be your greatest enemy, and that that it is impossible for you to imagine and conceive that I would be anything except for somebody who's totally desirous and rage-filled to utterly want to murder you and cause you the most physical pain that's possible in this existence, and then in after existence, then cause you endless suffering then too. I only want that outcome for you. And nothing could be further from the truth. And a lot of that, yeah, maybe in part was my own ignorance of things, and then my own evolution and need to understanding the truth of the truth I knew as I was first receiving it, and I'm applying it within the context of my life and my experiences and my reaction to learning through my true creator what's actually been happening in the world and what's going on and why. Yeah, as a fellow human being, as a fellow person on this planet, like, who wouldn't react like that? You, I, anybody, born in this shit, and then finding out the truth of that, yeah. Your immediate thought is like, fucking John J. Rambo this shit. I don't give a fuck. I go out fucking blown away with 5 trillion bullets, like, yeah. Let's go at this head on. Oh, thankfully, them, her, it's like, look, the thing that is affecting you, okay, that has a tremendous effect and pull on you, that has not been able to, the way it wants to you, its only and greatest weapon against you now is to impel on you, exercise on you, the only thing that currently now, because of everything you've done and everything that has been annihilated on its side, the only thing you can put on you that you're not fully aware is this urgency thing. It's trying to create some sense of urgency for you to act and to do things that just buy it time, and where you get distracted and do, but relax. Don't worry. If you ever feel a sense of urgency or a thought that creates a sense of urgency or a desire to do a thing with a sense of urgency, that's the thing. Acting on you. Pushing, trying to get you to. What? So your greatest weapon now, literally, is just to chill. Chill, don't do it. If you feel something with a sense of urgency, just go and sit, lay on the bed, listen to some music, whatever, take a walk, but don't do it, because that's coming from that. And man, it could be crazy sometimes, especially when I have to leverage some of the tools available to me, what you call drugs. I call nature's gifts, and since we call them different things, they have different effects on us. And you guys might be wise to that and don't internally call it that, just put it out there for the public so that when they do it, they get that effect, and when you do it, you get a better effect. However, because due to the nature of what you do, who you are, and what you've done, it is impossible for you to achieve the level of beneficiality in all things that I can, simply. And the fact is that you and I are the same thing. There's nothing I am and I can do that isn't also you and what you were given and granted at birth, being what you are, born what you are. Same thing I am. We're no different. Just your life, choices and paths, like mine, we were all, save for the one guy, you know who you are, save for him, okay? And even he has a necessary blind spot, save for him, we all, because of him, were born, same thing, but forced kind of in different life path directions that put us exactly where we are today. And through all my efforts, until today, just that recently, and I kind of had an epiphany. I was just like battling with this concept of like, how do I get around and disengage and realize what a fucking idiot I am. Like, I don't give a fuck about all them, okay? It's exactly one, you, that I care about the most at this point. You are my exact target audience, and if you exist, as I presume, and at 99.99 with 9s to the end of time certainty, there is an infinitesimal possible potential. I'm completely off base. And, let's get out to the public, and they're like, well, what's this whole preamble? Okay, I don't want, because in the event that it does go out and just become a public duty, I don't want to mention any specific religions, cultures, nationality, whatever. This is to who you know you are, and you probably have a strong, at least suspicion, if not full-on knowledge, that you fully know, that I know who you are, you know who I am. Let's just go by that, and so I don't have to put any specifics in there that are going to it's going to really just muddy up what I'm trying to communicate. Just have something really important to tell you, and I just desperately want to reach you with this, because it's coming from a place that you can decide on your own if I'm being perfectly truthful about. It's coming from a place that not only my 5 points, well, which I'll get to so that you can understand how to fill your 5 points, is an expression through my gift, which is using poetry as a poet, T-R-E-E, whether it's in music, film, writing, posing poems, just sitting and to express and demonstrate first to the people I intended towards, which is you, and through you to all creation, to my creator, to everyone and everything that everything reaches, okay? You may have the conception wrongly because you're blinded by the up guy, and even the up guy may have the misperception because at birth he was necessarily blinded by his previous error that he's also making this time, unaware, because he was blinded by himself by necessity of the thing he did there. He's not aware that all I want to offer you is a story, all right, a tale, and you could take this in any number of ways. But I want to offer it to you first, letting you know up front and I'm offering it to you with love. That I love you. I love you. You are me. We are in the same situation. We are the same thing. We are the same species. We're in the same planet, in the same all creation. And regardless if we find ourselves on opposite sides of fucking major war, enemy lines, whatever, regardless, any of that conditional stuff, because as it is a very unusual situation in all creation to be born and not have a memory of where you came from, what you are, what you're doing. This was because of what your top guy built, so that you and I, everyone, save maybe him by exception, he was born with the forgetfulness because of what he did his past turnaround, but he put it in the world so that none of us coming in would have conceptions that would immediately, just debilitate or totally disband or whatever he's doing up there. So that's why he created it for the rest of us, and we were all born so with no previous memory. But that's not a usual situation in all creation. Everything takes its previous adventures and lives and when it goes on and to the magnificence of all creation, all the different, they take all that with them, and in their new forms and lives and births, which they bring to light and kind of create in this kind of like in-between spot, and they go off on these adventures. Yeah, friends, family, this and that, just eons, endless time and space, okay? When you have endless, okay? Let me start this story, though, okay? Letting you know, love is my number one reason I want to give this to you, okay? My love for you, all right? There's nothing more valuable and more important to me than you and my expression of that love. And I hope that I communicate that in the best way possible. I'm going to use the utmost of my poetic ability to do that throughout this episode. And then from that, I hope you also feel that with that love is a great compassion for you that I can certainly empathize with, because we're all, including the top guy, born into kind of this situation. And I'll explain where my compassion for the top guy originates from, and why he exists, and what he is, and really what a kind of special, fantastic thing he is, not expressing and demonstrating it in any way that most magnificently benefits him or anyone in his triangle now. Not that, however, it doesn't change the fact of what he is, and the magnificence of that. And so unfortunately, just beyond that, I'm going to be as generous as I can in giving you everything, even if it's something you could possibly use to hurt me or those I love. That's the last thing. It's not even on my mind during this. I want to freely give you anything and everything I can to just open up a window, so to speak. You don't have to look out there. You don't like the video, you're like, yeah, I hate that. I like this window better. Go back to it, okay? There's nothing forced on you. But I'm going to open this curtain that seems to be like nailed shut, and there's somebody standing in the corner keeping you from opening it. It's like, as soon as I walk up, the guy in the corner, it turns out there's no one there. Oh my gosh, you could have opened it all the time. Here, let me open it for you. And then look out, oh my gosh, there's an incredible, beautiful view. Oh, it fills my this, it makes my family, it cures us of disease. It's just like, whatever. Keep it open then, okay? I offer it to you freely. There's no cost to it. There's no obligation. You don't have to keep it open. As soon as I leave, you just, you know what, I do want to shut it. Shut it. Okay, fine. However, now you know it's there, and you know that thing you saw in the corner was keeping you from opening it was just a shadow or something, or some misperception that as soon as you walk up, you say, oh, it doesn't exist, because he walked up and it didn't exist. I offer it to you with that, and I hope, in that you feel the spirit of of this and that. It is meant up front, no matter what any part of you, up to including the top guy, have done to me, mine, those I love, and every single person on the planet, and the blasphemy you've committed to my true creator I love so deeply that, wow, how can anybody insult her, much less blaspheme her, much less abuse her gifts to the point of like trying to hurt her with it. Like, yeah, that should infuriate me, and I hate you, you tried to kill my kids or whatever, you did kill my kids. It's like, you know, it took me a long time to get there, but man, I forgive you, okay? Yes. And that's not, it's been so horrific. And I'm so desperately, every day, wishing someone would just touch me or like express something about anything that means anything to me. And people that act so strange to me, okay? Yes. And it's terrible not having ever enough money, and thankfully is one thing. I don't know how or why you couldn't touch it, but my dad, you know, just in his life just produced enough resource that my kids at least don't have to suffer this with me. I could just on my own and just pare down and live really, really, really tight, and that's fine. It was just me. If my kids had to do that, it'd be so much magnified, horrific. And I'm grateful for my dad that he did that, and that, you know, unfortunately, you know, I can't live with my kids or near my kids or access those funds because of, as soon as I'm involved, it's like all that stops for me and my kids. So it's like I have to be away from that, and I can't in any way benefit financially from that, and that's fine. I'm perfectly willing to live in poverty and, you know, not do anything to spend money and to just, you know, just go in the forest or just hang out there all day and do concerts only for the Lost Boys. And that's fine. They're my greatest fans, and through what you know is a tree, which is a grand insult of a name, and I suggest you don't use it because you're all well outside your 5 points on betting, and certainly not respecting the foundation of all creation, the foundational thing that everyone, you, I, everything in all creation absolutely loves and reveres, which I will get to. We all, there's not a thing created that exists that is not like this. Your conception, your brilliant conception of heaven, which is like nothing anyone actually wants. We want sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We love that stuff. We do that stuff. We go to bars. We dance. You know, we have sex. We procreate. We love that stuff. And the conception that, oh, if you're most good, you get to go to heaven with God, where none of that stuff is. And all these people are just like, yeah, okay, let's go there. What? They're lying to themselves. And that's great, because you got them to believe the lie in the beginning. You got them to sit in front of that book, exposing to them, not opening a page to read it. Great. Okay, you were successful in that. However, between you and I, we can have an open discussion and know we all love that stuff. Why? Miss Grandmama here, she made us. Okay, we're supposed to, and through all creation, that's exactly what we do in love. Unfortunately, pretty much your whole triangle at this point is not going to that. Okay, you're not even going to the heathen that you invented. No, you're going to your poetic justice place, which is endless, endless, endless. Because the first truth I want to share is there's non-existence over here. Doesn't exist. Nothing can be known or tracked or anything about anything that doesn't exist. And then, through whatever conception you want to imagine, but it's well beyond your tiny little container to actually fully comprehend, there's things that exist. Don't call it a universe or universe, which is a one verse, or an un-I-verse, or whatever you manipulate the language. Let's just between us. We'll call it here. It exists. It exists. Obviously, this is existence. Okay? We look out there. What's existence? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. This explosion created galaxies, and because galaxies exist now, they're birthing stars, and because stars are being birthed, they're birthing planets, and because planets are being birthed, potentially in this one instance, we have, then all this life is proliferating, conditions of this. Okay, so the birth of the galaxy made possible the birth of stars, made possible the birth of planets, made possible the birth of creatures, and all of this is a creation process. And even when that star explodes and that's the death of it, does it go to non-existence? No. Still exists. The force of it blows out and hits all the clouds of dust and this and that. What does it do? Bursts a star. So even the explosive end of the cycle of a star produces more stars. There's no point in our observation of all this. Does something, oh look, the moon just got hit by a giant comet. Went, stopped existing. Okay? There's no point where you walk up to someone and shoot them, boom, and he disappears into spirit, dust, and instantly everything he is, his body and his O1, let's call it, because that's probably what you're most familiar with, what you sold as a SOUL, so you could cancel it out or whatever, or change its status, or whatever you think you're doing with it. I'll explain more clearly what it is, fill in the blanks for you, because I'm sure at the way you're arranged, this guy has the ultimate of truth, and every level below has less and less and less and less all the way to the bottom. And you got to rise up the ranks, and you have to kind of meet his criteria. So, given that, let's just call this entirety of everything that exists all creation. With all creation, there are creation engines. You can't possibly comprehend or understand, but let's say an engine like the star, the sun. When poof, it pops into existence, it, by its existence, creates planets. What are planets? Are they things that then the sun's like, I got all these planets now. Let me start seeding them and let me start growing stuff on them. No. It's still just a pop furnace ball of fire, but because it exists and because the planets are there and the conditions are right, in our instance, wow, there's proliferation of life. Yeah? Where did that stuff come from that got on the planet? Because we don't see that connection or correlation. And you may have seen those scientific photos like, oh, look at all this purple webbing that makes up most of space. It's invisible dark matter. Actually, that's the thing, the transportation network that you just really wrongly, for your case, never call the thing that you call a tree. I can, because I meet all five. I'm completely honorific, expressive, and demonstrative of all the foundations of all creation, and my use of the word tree, it doesn't offend, they autocorrect my offenses and say, well, he can't know and doesn't know because the world he lives in, because of the machinations of this maniacal thing, he can't know the real name, the honorific name. So when he says the bad thing, we automatically hear the honorific thing and apply all his stuff to it. Okay? In my case, I can say it over and over again and over with no negative in it. I get all the positives of everything I'm trying to communicate. In your case, and especially since you're the originators of not just the insult, but like the grand larceny of it, in that not just the insult, but then the continual abuse of the nearly now 100% forgiveness status of the thing that is